Hey Peter, 2023 is well underway. You've got your first fight of the year, February 25th in Dublin, Bryce Logan. How are you feeling? Because I know 2022 was a bit of an injury-plagued year for you. Probably one of the first real couple of injuries you've had and took time a bit away to get surgeries and stuff like that.
Yeah, 2022 is, I don't want to hear about it ever again, to be honest. It was crap. So, didn't feel myself all year, multiple surgeries. So I'm hoping for a better one this year.
It's always an exciting time. First fight of the year, it's kind of become a regular spot in your calendar. I'd imagine this February Dublin show. You've got Bryce Logan, probably a slightly different kind of fight that you've had in the last couple of years. You've fought really the top tier guys. This more guy with something that will out to prove, really. I think it'll be almost 3 years since he's had a win. I don't think he's had a win at Bellator at all. What are your thoughts on him as an opponent?
Yeah, it's a bit of a step down on paper, obviously, but it's always going to be a bit of a step down compared to what I've been fighting the last few years. Like it's been three world champions back to back, basically with Patricky twice and Benson. So he's a very good fighter. He's been very unlucky in his Bellator tenure. He's fought tough fights himself, been very close in them. So it's still a very challenging fight. I'm taking him very seriously, but it's definitely a slight step down competition for me, which I'm looking forward to.
And no doubt you're looking to get back to winning ways. In terms of 2023 as a whole, we can almost assume they'll have this fight in Bellator in February. They almost would guarantee to come back in September as they have done. Will you look to the summer to try and maybe fight outside Ireland, in the States or somewhere else in Europe?
Yeah, I'll keep my mind open to that. I'm not totally committed to actually. To be honest, this year probably suits me. Just with everything last year, with the injuries and all that last year, I wouldn't be opposed to only fighting twice this year, to be honest. But if the right fight came up, I would definitely do it in the summer. So we'll see what happens.
Of course, we got the lightweight World Grand Prix announced a couple of weeks ago. You were named on the
Yeah.
press release as an alternate, possibly. Is that something you've paid much attention to, or is it just a case of if it happens, it happens? You can't really think about it too much.
I'm very much expecting to be in that tournament. I think that is what's going to happen. To be honest, knowing that eight guys, it's very hard to keep eight guys in a tournament like that. Someone's going to get injured, so I think it's me and Brent are the two guys that are alternates. So
Yeah.
I expect to get called for that.
What have your thoughts been on obviously they've done a couple of these Grand Prix already at different weights. The $1 million prize is obviously a big factor, but what are your thoughts on the format of it?
I love it. I love the tournaments. It's I think it's good for casual fans as well. A tournament is always good. It reminds them of the World Cup or something. It's you. He wins this, he moves on. He wins this, he moves on. It's very easy to understand. There's no politics or uh, it's not up to some guy some guy in an office to decide who's fighting for the belt. It's just you win, you lose, you move on, you don't. And in particular, this tournament is, I think it's really good. I
Yeah.
think the eight guys in it are brilliant. To be fair to them, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's as good as any promotion anywhere can offer. What's going to happen in this tournament.
And that talk about looking forward, if we're looking back, just when I was doing a bit of research this morning about this chat with you, I just noticed when you fight Bryce Logan in February 25th, to be 11 years today since your pro debut, February 25th, 2012. Um, I don't know what your memories are that night. You fought Kieran O'Donnell and Cage Contender 12 in the basketball arena in Tala. Just a word on the kind of the journey of the last 11 years. Like we just mentioned there, you could go into a tournament for $1 million prize. Like 11 years ago, I'm probably sure you weren't thinking about that.
Yes, it's pretty crazy. Oh man, yeah, thinking back on that, I remember that night vividly fighting Kieran O'Donnell, and I actually met Kieran at a show in Newry for the first time in 11 years, about 2 months ago. It was crazy. He came up to me. I was like, holy shit, it was like seeing a ghost, seeing him there. I was like mad. So that was nice. We had a nice little conversation and stuff. Um, that night, yeah, actually, I remember that night because I I got a groin strike that night. It was worse than the one I got in my last fight. It was horrific. It was so bad. Um, oh, it was a tough night. I fought poorly that night. It was my first one. I felt the kind of pressure of it. I didn't really perform that well, but I got the win, thank God, and I kicked on from there. But to answer your question, yeah, it's crazy. I would have never, if you'd have told me back then in the basketball arena that I'd be, he'd be main event and he'd be fighting whoever, Ben and Patricky and all these dudes in the Tree Arena, and you'd be the main event, I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed at you. I would have thought you were crazy. And that's all I can say about that.
What would have been the crowd at that? A couple of hundred maybe, or?
No, to be fair, that show used to get a good crowd. It was Cage Contender. It was John Ferguson, the guy at the time. I don't know if you remember this dude. He was a character. He was a character. I'm not going to say too much about him, but he was a character. And in fairness, he used to. I would estimate there was probably 2,000 or 3,000 people at that. It used to be busy. The arena itself has a good amount of seating, and then he used to sell these standing tickets at the door for like €10 or something. And it used to be a mad atmosphere. It used to be people standing around the ring and everything. It was really good, actually. It was a shame that show fell away.
Yeah, I looking through the card that night. Gunnar Nelson, I think, won a belt. He was the main event, but Brian Moore was on that card, which was crazy. I think the journey he used to have been on, like he's obviously fighting in Dublin in February. Again, like two of you have really been kind of veterans of the Irish MMA scene, where you've gone.
We're all that's left in John's now. It's sad. It is sad. We're the two old guys that are left. We're the only ones that are left in there. I often say this to him. All the rest have either been forced to retire or retired, or for whatever reasons they're not fighting anymore. So it's a sad old time, and they're seeing the two of us. Just it's lonely in there.
Speaking on the other end of it, I just wanted to get your thoughts. It's always a big night for your team when Bellator in town, SBG. They dominate the card, but two of the younger guys, obviously one of the big ones at the moment is Ciaran Clarke. He's just like riding the crest of a wave at the moment. He's main card again. I think it's the third time main card now. Just your thoughts on him? It's probably going to be a big year for him.
Yeah, very big year for Kieran. He's doing us all proud. It always looks like he's up against it, and he's perhaps going to lose, and he somehow manages to win. He's got the heart of a lion, Kieran. So yeah, big year for him. I actually expected possibly maybe even a ranked opponent on this fight, to be honest, for him. That wouldn't have been out of the question, I don't think. So I think this one, and I'm sure then he'll get a ranked opponent in his next fight, is what I'd say for him.
There's lots of others that are going to be fighting on the night, which you could ask you, like Kenny and Dart, stuff like that. But the one I really want to get your thoughts, because I was in SVG last year with you, had one of the Dublin shows, and the one you were keen to talk about was Asaël, the French assassin. And you weren't wrong. He went out in his debut that a couple of days after that, and he was seriously impressive. He's back. He's won. I think he excited everyone that night because he was so flawless. What are your thoughts on him? And for anyone who missed last year, and we'll see him for the first time in a couple of weeks, just what he's like.
I was asked about Asaël, many years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Or no, I think I was asked who's the guy to watch for, whatever, and I said Asaël. And I think this is going to age very well, what I've said about him, because at the time he actually went out and made his pro debut and lost, and people are like, whatever. But he just wasn't ready. He'd been training fucking a couple of weeks. I don't know how long he'd been training. He kind of hadn't been training very long at all, but he was just such a raw talent that I think we all thought he would be able to just deal with this guy. But now, over the last 3 years, he's kicked on like crazy. He's a very tough round in the gym for anyone, and he's only getting better. He's very young. He's got the right attitude as well. Like, the sky's the limit for him. As long as he can keep himself injury free, I'd be shocked if he doesn't become a champion in a big promotion.
And as well, your old sparring partner Pedro, a big fight against Jeremy, almost a title. Whoever wins going to fight a title. A lot of people are saying that's an exciting fight, isn't it? Like, Pedro, I know he fought for a title before, but do you think he's really at the stage now where he can go and get that belt?
Yeah, well, I think it is a title eliminator for sure. I think they have been actually told that the winner is fighting for the belt. Yeah, he is. He was ready when he fought the last time. It's just that bloody pit bull is good. You know what I mean? It's just that's the reality of it. He was ready back then too, but he zigged when he should have zagged, and Patricio got him, and that happens, when you're fighting top class fighters. So he was ready. He will be ready, and I expect him to win on the 25th and go again.
Lovely stuff. Well, Peter, best of luck in the next few weeks. Hope all the rest of the camp goes well, and I'm sure I'll speak to you fight week.